There's a story on Fox 35 Orlando's YouTube channel titled "Florida Man Jumped by Bystanders After Beating His Dog Outside Gas Station." It's exactly what it sounds like, but it's one of the happier Florida man stories I've come across. In this case, the bystanders actually are doing a good thing, and they're probably also Florida men themselves. They jump in to save the dog from the guy who's abusing it. And the thing that was great about this is that the police actually arrest the guy who's abusing the dog in this case. So we can say that that's a small victory. It made me curious to know, how would this situation be different had he been walking a pig and decided to attack it? Would people have helped? Would he have been arrested? That'd be good to know. It was interesting to see that in the comments, unanimously, everyone completely denounces animal cruelty, and people saying things like people who abuse animals are sociopaths, it's a sign of a serial killer, and all these other things. He's not a real man. This is why animals shouldn't own dogs or stuff like that. It's just like, wait, what? Anyway, there was at least one comment, or maybe only one comment, that touched on the contradiction and sort of the discrepancy in that most of the people commenting on making these comments, most likely have had at least one meal in the last 24 hours that had dead animal unnecessarily killed for their taste pleasure. Unfortunately, these comments or the single comment that I found did not have many likes, and had the run-of-the-mill responses like "nature though," or "cows and dogs are different," that kind of BS. There were a few other comments that were less interesting or maybe less encouraging, because people were comparing, people were saying things like, people seem to think that the bystanders intervened because on behalf of the dog, but would not have intervened if it were a human being. I doubt that. I think if a man was, abusing his kids, actually, I'm not sure, because kids are actually open to abuse from their parents, and it's condoned socially. So I don't know. They may have just allowed it to continue, but definitely, if he was beating his kids with a chain, I think people would have intervened. So, but yeah, there are some people that said, "Oh, like human beings are caring. These people care too much about dogs and not enough about human beings." Yeah, no comment on that. But yeah, we should just care more about everyone, and I think that would fix a lot of problems. So it was, on one hand, encouraging to see people step up and defend the weak. On the other hand, a bit disappointing to see that they can't then extend that to its logical conclusion and take up the defense of the other fellow animals. Seeing the anger, the rage that people directed at this guy, both the bystanders who stepped up to him and the folks in the YouTube comments on the video, seeing that really made it clear. It makes it clear to anyone who cares about animals why vegans tend to be upset with meat consumption, or people who eat meat, in the context of trying to change their behavior, because it's an obvious instance of animal abuse. So seeing it happen, once the meat's already dead on a plate, it's like there's no point to fight the person because you can't save them. But if I were in the slaughterhouse to just watching someone, it would be really hard for me to just watch someone kill animals and not do anything. And I want to think that that's a shared sentiment. The only reason I don't do anything about slaughterhouses, frankly, because I don't have the power to do that. I'm doing what's within my power, which is just not to incentivize the killing of more animals. But I'm only one person, of course, right? I need other people. If I really wanted to take down a slaughterhouse, we would need enough people to want to do the same. So it's a bit more difficult than having a consensus around the fact that beating dogs is bad, where you know that it's more likely that people will help you if you try to defend a dog. If you went to a slaughterhouse and you tried to take away the cows or free them, or you tried to fight the facility owner or something like that, you're gonna go to jail. And it's going to be treated as a completely different case than this guy and his dog, because people's cognitive dissonance and contradictory laws and all that good stuff. I want to contrast a lot of the comments in this section, this YouTube video section, with those about the death of Regan Russel, and I'm reading from Wikipedia here. On June 19, 2020, 65-year-old Canadian animal rights activist and protester Regan Russel was run over and killed by a livestock transport truck after demonstration outside Sofina Foods Inc. subsidiary Fairman's Pork Incorporated, a pig slaughterhouse in Burlington, Ontario. The driver of the truck was convicted of careless driving causing death. So the way I understand the story is the activists, so Reagan was trying to block the truck from pulling in to the slaughterhouse. That's very heroic in my estimation. That's like the famous, I don't know, Tiananmen massacre kind of event where the guy's trying to stop a tank, I think. For some reason that's heroic, but then when somebody just standing in front of a tank is heroic, but then someone trying to stand in between the truck and the animal's deaths is seen as like, I don't want to, I'll put the comments up on somewhere so you guys can read them, but just go to that video and read the comments and try to get a sense of how people will perceive the attempt to safeguard, to protect livestock. It's completely different than what you'll see with this animal video, where the owner is merely using like physical force to, maybe he's not trying to eat that dog, but well, who knows? It's a very puzzling thing. It's a very inconsistent way of allotting sympathy or empathy. People were very, very crass, very cruel, and rather they really should have been the opposite. It should be a lot of reverence for Regan. I hope I'm saying that right. Regan might be the name, how you pronounce it, but yeah, Regan Lydia Russel, R.I.P. Let's keep these people in mind that actually are actual real life heroes, and try to push the cause for freedom forward. Yeah, that's really kind of all I have to say on this. If there's anything you want me to review, drop it in the comments. I'll take a look. I'm trying to get to a point where I can actually have discussions with people, like maybe do like a podcast type style thing, conversation, but then also I want to take action. Maybe you have a game jam. I'm happy to program. I'm not a game developer, but I'm happy to like learn how to do something so that we're putting media into the world that furthers the goal of animal peace and freedom eventually. So yeah, but definitely put it in the comments if you have a thought about something I might be interested in reviewing, whether it's like articles about how we treat animals, like farmer focused articles, or whether it's just discrepancies that you've seen on online stories such as the ones I just discussed. So yeah, anyway, see you in the next one.